This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered medical advice. If you're in crisis, please call 988 immediately. To schedule an appointment with Spectrum Health, please call 716-539-5500.
Welcome to Spectrum Health Journey, a casual and comfortable conversation about behavioral health and wellness, presented by Spectrum Health. Here are your hosts, Melanie White, licensed mental health counselor, and Bob Stahura.
And welcome to another edition of Spectrum Health Journey. Bob Stahura, along with the lovely Melanie White. And we also have Sherry Mazur joining us today, as sometimes she does. Sherry, welcome.
And sometimes I do, yes, Robert and Melanie, with a very special guest in studio.
Welcome.
We have a special guest, Chuck Stevens, who I worked with back in radio back in the 80s at Foxy 93. And now, Chuck, you've gone through a lot of variations of your career. You're a retired radio professional, and now you're the vice chair of the board and volunteer reader at the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
It's a long list already, and I didn't even cover all the stuff you've done over the years.
I know. Yeah.
So
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's a lot. Sometimes I have to sit down and write it all down myself and say, how can I condense 60 years into...
That's wild. Yeah. Well, it's good. It's great to see you again. Great to have you here. We're talking about music in this segment and the power of music, and there's a lot of things we can discuss. So let's just reiterate how Spectrum Health has launched its own curated playlists on the Spotify channel, and you just have to look up Spectrum Health Tunes, and our Spotify playlists come up. Team members from Spectrum, including clinicians and myself, Sherry, Melanie, suggested songs for relaxation, energy, and calming. We've talked about music on this program with Joanne Falletta from the BPO, Ellen Cool, who is a music therapist. And today we're going to talk to Chuck Stevens about an important audio service in our community as well, which is the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Chuck, tell us a little about that right now, and we'll talk more about music itself in a second, but I want to hear more about what you're doing now.
Yeah, it's a service that was, I think, I'm going to guess here, established in the mid to late 80s initially, and it's a service that reads publications for people who are either blind or visually impaired. So if you can think back, this will sound old school, but books on tape, which goes way, way back, that's this kind of service. However, it's now in the digital world. Mm-hmm. So we read all kinds of publications, the Buffalo News, Wall Street Journal, New York Times. We read books from the New York Times bestseller list, all the suburban newspapers. It's a still delivered old school way by closed circuit radio, but most of our listeners come from podcasts. And so we do the live stream. We have an app, and we do, are on all the major podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, you name it. So, it serves about 1,000 listeners a month.
So this is where I'm going to ask Melanie to kind of chime in a little bit, because your audience, Chuck, are people who normally can't read it themselves. And there's certainly, if you're someone who has lost your vision, you lost your sight, and maybe you were a reader, that's got to be very traumatic and very traumatizing. Sure. So, Melanie, how does that connect to behavioral health, the good work that Chuck and his colleagues are doing?
Well, of course, we know that when people struggle and they're feeling severely depressed, they don't always have a conversation about it. They don't always tell everyone if they're anxious. And that does come when we have lose our ability to do things, reading, right? That's big. That's big.
Sure.
So when Chuck started talking, when I thought about my grandmother used to read the newspaper every morning. Every morning she read the newspaper. And then Sunday, there was that big paper that was there every Sunday. And when life did change, she went to watching television a little bit more. But she really, really looked forward to that newspaper each morning. So the thought is now, how does she really feel having that being lost from her life and having to transition to something else? And then the next thought is, that would have really been nice to know about another avenue that she could have taken, to have it read to her. That's what you're saying to me. That's what I'm getting from that. And Sherry, you're right. That's really deep though, because we think about things like you can't go to work anymore. We have hospital issues because we have medical stuff going on. And we talk about the symptoms of depression when we're talking about getting older or the weather change or different things but really tapping into this is a whole nother level, right? Because this is something that's natural. It's natural to lose these abilities and to know that we are picking up the pieces and kind of making sure that there are other options. That is awesome.
And when you think about it too, it's more than just the entertainment value and the habit of reading. It's health literacy. It's learning about the world. It's learning how to navigate our kind of day-to-day life. And so it's your team that's providing that essential service. But let's take a jump back for a minute, back to the music days, because you were a DJ in the days when there was such a thing as a DJ playing the hits, playing the music.
Playing records.
Yep, I remember those. There's stories about records. We'll share them later. But that whole idea of why people tune into music anyway, what makes a song good?
Boy, there's a lot of elements to that. And, I was thinking about this the other day. Certainly the lyrics have to be outstanding and have some impact and meaning. But if you want to make a really hit song, if you want to make a lot of money and sell a lot of songs, it's the hook. Mm-hmm. I mean, it really is the hook. And if it doesn't have a good hook, it's not going to be a great song. It's that repetition of the hook in the song that really, hits home. The other thing that hits home is that song is usually associated with a moment in your life. And so it kind of comes together like that. So if you've had something good happen in your life and that song comes on the radio that you love, it associates with that good event. And the opposite's true. It could be a bad event in your life as well. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, there's that song. I can't take it. So it's the lyrics, it's that moment in time, it's what's going on in your life, and it's that hook.
I'm singing right now, Chuck.
Which one are you singing?
I'm every woman.
There you go.
It's all in me. Was that not good, Bob?
Before we started, you mentioned Beyonce. Single Ladies comes into my head. All the single ladies, all the single ladies. That was the hook of the song. And that's what everybody remembers the most about the song, I think, anyway. So
I'm going to bring it back to our mental health topic. No, this is all good stuff. One of the things that I think is really powerful today is how even though digital platforms have made music widely available, we still have broadcast radio, and all those platforms, including broadcast, give us access to music without a huge cost. And I think that accessibility is huge, especially for people who may not have disposable income to pay for these, other services and things like that. And beyond that, there's the mental health angle, because studies have shown that music can reduce stress, improve mood, foster a sense of connection. So ensuring that music is free or low cost means more people can experience those benefits. So it's not just about entertainment, it's about well-being.
It's such a big form of not just connectivity, but we're able to really my mood, the way I feel. You said, sometimes it is a negative thought that comes in based upon a song, But then I think we can also jog to know that there's so many good songs, though, still that promote that good feeling. I think that's one of the bigger pieces, to know that when you think of music, how do you step out of wherever you're at, mentally, emotionally, and physically, right? Because if I'm feeling less than and I'm feeling lethargic, and guess what? I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna move. And if you tell me to exercise, Bob, today I might walk a little bit, but if you put on the right song, sister jogging, I'm jogging, light jogging, let's be clear,
right?
But jogging, right? It all depends on where we're at currently in our mood and our emotions.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Chuck, how do people, I wish we had more time. You got to come back and visit us. How can people get a hold of you for either to volunteer or to utilize the service? How can people reach out to you?
The easiest way is just go to the website, nfradioreading.org, and everything is there. You can click on listen live, volunteer, make a donation if you're inspired.
nfradioreading.org.
There's a button where you can click to volunteer.
I was going to ask, can you volunteer? And what if you want the service, you want to be read to? How does that work?
Well, there's so many different ways. We will provide a radio for the closed circuit broadcast, which comes off the WNED FM towers.
Okay.
And that's kind of old school, and probably not the best quality. But the live stream's on the website. You can download our app. It's a very simple app. It's just got like 4 buttons. That's it. And then the podcasting.
And this is really kind of a full circle moment because we're talking about this service on a podcast. So 21st century platform. Our roots go back to the old days of hearing music over the radio, and maybe not so much anymore, but yeah, the service is still there. We know our friends down in Wyoming County who will be listening on CJ Country rely on AM and FM radio for news and information all the time. That's still their best option. And the fact that we're old friends reconnecting 40-ish years ago on a new platform is just really reaffirming and really positive and uplifting. And, we'll end with that. Find those song lyrics that resonate with you. Chuck said it's the hook that makes it happen. For me, Jimmy Webb said it best, Wichita lineman, and I need you more than want you, which there's been research around those song lyrics about why that phrase is so resonant with people. It's just beautiful and inspiring. Robert, what inspires you?
Mulaney and I were talking earlier off the air, and she said, it comes at the moment. Today, here comes the sun. I need a little sunshine. So, Chuck?
That's tough because I've got about 1,000 of them.
Right.
My son jokes about it all the time. He goes, Dad, I finally figured you out. You always have a song playing in your head. And he's right. Happy by Pharrell to me because I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
It sticks in my brain and never goes away.
Very good.
Okay, there's another one that I do like, but I'm a gospel girl as well, right? So just to be clear, gospel is the thing too for me. Grace Ottawa, God, don't give up on me yet.
Very good.
Right.
And on that note, Chuck, again, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure getting to reconnect with you again.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And we will be back.
Thank you.
Good morning or evening, friends. Here's your friendly announcer. I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could mean the world's disaster, could change your joy and laughter to tears and pain. It's that love in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. Hey, going round, breaking many hearts. Stop it, please, before love in need. Oh, love, hey. Oh, delay, send yours in right away. Ooh, hey, bring it down a little. Love is very peaceful, so bring it down a little. Just give the world.
We are back, and we have guests that are very familiar with our podcast. They've been with us before. Dan Lukasik, who is a lawyer, a mental health advocate, law professor, public speaker, and his counterpart, producer, director, Mark Anthony Dellas. You were here, a while ago, promoting the documentary that is about your brother, Dan, my brother, Lost in Time, A Bipolar Life. And we did see that at the Aurora Theater. It has played all over on PBS and in so many places. What a beautiful documentary that is. Congratulations on completing that. Now the two of you are working on a second film. Tell us about that.
Well, it's a film called Travels with George, A Journey Through Depression, Connection, and Friendship. And it's a film which explores a friendship I made 10 years ago with a 9-year-old child at St. Luke's Mission of Mercy on the east side of Buffalo. And I was going through a period of depression. I've lived with depression for 30 years, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I mean, I guess I was yearning for something, searching for something. I didn't really know, but someone said, "Oh, you should check out St. Luke's Mission of Mercy, and maybe you could volunteer." So I went there. I said, "I'm here. I don't know what to do, but I want to volunteer." And the founder, Amy Betro, said, "We have a child that doesn't have a dad, and we would like you to be his mentor." I said, "Sure." So that's when I met George Tillman, who was 9 at the time. And that began a 10-year journey of friendship between the two of us. George is my best friend, and he's been with me through so many things. And I think it's a lesson that we all can understand about loneliness in general, but the particular loneliness that people with mental illness suffer from. I started out thinking I'd be mentoring George, but he mentored me just as much as I mentored him. And it's about how relationships and connection can be so healing when it comes to our mental health and our physical health too.
Sure. Yeah, we've been talking about music and how that is an advocate for the mental health process and how that can help. Mark, this is your second go-around with Dan. Talk about this film.
Yeah, absolutely. Both the films that Dan and I worked on both had to do with mental health and healing. And the second film, I wanted to approach it in a really positive way, at least in my own lived experience with things like depression, mental health. The most positive ways to heal I found was leaning on my friends and leaning on my mentors, because those type of things, those relationships are a two-way street. You give and you receive. So here we have Dan and George, two very different people from different backgrounds, different ages, yet they create a relationship where they both benefit and ultimately heal through their friendship.
Melanie, you're involved with this in some way. I heard you talking with Dan earlier. Talk about what your involvement is with this.
Yeah, so the film is out there, but Spectrum Health and Human Services, we will be
We're presenting a special screening of this beautiful film on Tuesday, April the 14th. And my friend Miss Mulaney here is going to be on a panel discussion that will follow a screening of the film. So this is going to be at the Montanti Cultural Center on the Canisius University campus. Or if you're old school like me, St. Vincent's. Doors will open at 5. The screening will be at 6 o'clock. And then immediately following the screening, our friend Eileen Buckley from WKBW, and shout out and thanks to WKBW for being our media sponsor, will moderate a panel discussion with our filmmaker, Mark, and with our star, Dan, and with Mulaney here, and Yassine, who is one of our peer support specialists, and Sherry Alvarez, who is the CEO of Compeer. And they're going to talk about some of the major themes of the film and maybe share some other information. But that's where Mulaney comes in, sharing her expertise on the panel about the power of friendship.
Yes.
And what that can do.
Yes. I love it. You should see Dan over here rooting me on from the right side. I love it, Dan. Thank you. Yes, we will be sitting down and have engaging in conversation, of course, around that mental health topics and talking about symptoms of depression and how they correlate to the film and how we see, well, because for me, actually being able to view it, it really touched my heart to see that both people are from different backgrounds, and this was such a genuine connection. And when I think about it, I think about friendship. I really did think about the travel piece, where you traveled in the car, because I know that was a piece of peace and tranquility and enough time to sit back and be a part of each other. And I thought that was really big, and supporting each other. Right? So support for me was really big. And so I do look forward to having the conversations with you all. And I also do look forward to, just as well as you, Dan, meeting George as well.
Yeah, I think, it's around the third anniversary of my brother's passing after a lifetime struggle with bipolar disorder. And that was a film about loss and grief, about two brothers with mental illness, me with depression, him with bipolar disorder. And this film is really so different than that film because it's a film, I think it's an inspirational film. I think it's a reason for rejoicing. And it's a powerful film about love, really, and how love can do so much to heal us all.
When people have conversations about depression, sometimes because people don't understand severity and the importance of severity, people are like, yeah, you're just depressed, right? And you can get over it. That's not always so, right?
Yes,
and so they assume when a person sees, you're just depressed, and you'll get to another place. This film, I think, is really good at helping people to see it's not so easily written out. It's not so easy
that's
as
true.
they assume.
One of the things I talk about a lot is that, I've been living with it for 25 years and gone through different episodes of it. When going through an episode of it, it's like going into a trough or a well when it's really acute and serious and you feel incapacitated where you're just trying to get through your day.
Yeah.
And then I come out of the well and things are kind of like okay, and I'm very grateful, thankful to God and my family and friends that I've had a very successful life as a lawyer and a professor and the things I'm able to do, and the people that have sustained me, George, including George. And, I just feel that George said to me the other day, this isn't really about you and I, Mr. Dan. He always calls me Mr. Dan. Mm-hmm. It's really about other people and the other people we can inspire to have those connections and friendships. That's what it's really about, the film.
Taking care of yourself, being patient with yourself, even when you know the struggle feels really, really real and feels kind of alone at times, for sure.
That's one of the worst aspects, I think, of depression and people don't often think of that because from the outside, you can look the same, right? It's not like a broken leg you could see with the cast. People can't see that your brain is just not functioning correctly and that mental illness is as severe or can be as severe as physical illness. So I think that the film hopefully will educate us all not only about mental illness and specifically depression, but the need, sometimes the desperate need that we have for other people to understand, not be afraid, not to stigmatize somebody who's struggling, and to reach out that hand in friendship.
I have not seen it yet. I look forward to seeing it. The documentary is called Travels with George, and our special guests. Thank you for joining us, Dan Lukasik, Mark Anthony Dellas. Just a pleasure to have you here talking about it and the work you're doing. It's not entertainment. This is something that is going to help people, and it's helped you already. I'm sure it's helped George. And we look forward to the results of this.
Thanks. Thank you, guys.
And we'll be back.
This is for all the lonely people, thinking that life has passed them by. Don't give up until you drink from the silver cup and ride that highway in the sky. This is for all the single people, thinking that love has left them dry. Don't give up until you drink from the silver cup. You never know until you try. Well, I'm on my way. Yes, I'm back to stay. Well, I'm on my way back home. Get it? up until you drink from the silver cup. I'll never take you down or never give you up. You'll never know until you try.
We're back with my favorite segment. I think everybody's favorite segment,
Yeah.
the Hope segment. Mulaney, welcome back to
Thank you, Bob.
to this. We had a ball today. We're talking about music, and we were talking about that new film, that documentary. And now we have a special guest from Spectrum Health, Christina Jakubowski. You are the Senior Clinical Care Coordinator at Spectrum Health.
Correct, yes.
You're here to tell us about an event that's coming up on March 11th.
Yes, so March 11th is Mental Health Matters Day. It's a day that gives everybody the opportunity to show support for behavior and mental health, and kind of show support for the providers of those services. It's also a reminder for lawmakers how vital those services are in the community.
And where does this take place?
So the main event takes place down in Albany, right on the front steps. However, it is an opportunity for anybody to reach out to their local lawmakers and their state officials and tell them why mental health is important and why funding those services is important.
So as a local constituent, what can we do? Like, what can I do? What can someone listening do?
Absolutely. So there is a list through eriecounty.gov. They have email addresses, phone numbers, however you want to reach out and contact them, let them know, a story about why it matters, how the funding could help, and the importance of keeping these services going.
Sure.
Yeah.
One important thing too, I know, Christina, you mentioned going to the county website, erie.gov, but also you can just go to Google and key in, who is my state legislator? And it'll bring you to the New York State Senate and the Assembly pages. Put in your zip code and it'll pull up who is your representative. Write to those people too, because this is a big issue. Funding for mental health services, we know, is key and very important to our Governor, Kathy Hochul. It's been part of her State of the State and part of her commitments over the past several years. So letting your local representative know that the services our governor is talking about is important to you as an individual, and letting your voice be heard there, that's a lot of power. And that's what we need to capitalize on Mental Health Matters Day, because of course we think mental health matters every day.
Yeah.
But it's great that our state government has set aside that day for us. So,
Yeah.
Christina, thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And that's going to do it for this episode of Spectrum Health Journey. Please remember, no matter what you're going through, don't be afraid to reach out to someone. You are not alone. Never give up. You are so worth it.
Yes, you are.
This has been Spectrum Health Journey, presented by Spectrum Health and Human Services. If you need immediate help, call Spectrum Health's 24/7 emergency line, 716-710-5172. That's 716-710-5172. Until next time, never give up the fight. You are worth it.